Namaste to all students. This is my video tutorial on the topic transportation. Transportation is the process of movement of materials from the region of their availability or production to the region of their storage or use or elimination. Various substances like carbon dioxide, oxygen, waste, nutrients, vitamins, proteins are transported from one part of the body to another. We would study transportation in two headings: transportation in animals and transportation in plants. So let's start with the transportation in human beings. The main transport system in human beings is the circulatory system, and it consists of blood, arteries, veins, capillaries, and heart. Blood is a fluid connective tissue which is responsible for the transportation of food, oxygen, and waste products. It consists of plasma, which is the fluid part of the blood, red blood cells RBC, white blood cells WBC, and platelets. Plasma transports food, water, carbon dioxide, and nitrogenous waste like urea, uric acid, etc. Red blood cells transport oxygen. White blood cells kills harmful microbes and protects the body. So they are also called soldiers of our body. Platelets help in clotting of blood, that is, it prevents loss of blood during injury. Arteries and veins are the main blood vessels which carry blood in the body. Arteries carry pure blood from heart to all the parts of the body. Pure means oxygenated blood. There is only one exception in the arteries, that is pulmonary artery, that carry deoxygenated blood. Rest all arteries in our body carry oxygenated blood. Arteries are thick walled and they do not have valves. Valves are the structure which prevent backflow of blood. Remember, arteries do not have valves. On the other hand, veins carry impure blood from all the parts of the body to the heart. They are thin walled and they have valves. V for veins, V for valves. In this way you can remember. And the function of valves is to prevent backflow of blood. In arteries, the blood flows under high pressure, so there is no chance of backflow of blood. Hence, they do not have valves. On the other hand, in veins, the blood flows slowly, so they are provided with valves to prevent backflow. Capillaries, on the other hand, are very narrow blood vessels which are made up of one cell thick wall which connects arteries and veins together. Capillaries form a dense network of blood vessels inside the body organs for the exchange of food, water, oxygen, carbon dioxide between the blood and cells. In capillaries, the blood flows slowly. In this flow diagram, you can see the blood is divided into two components: the solid components, which are called blood corpuscles or blood cells, and the liquid component is called plasma. Blood corpuscles are of three types: RBC, WBC, and blood platelets. Their functions we have already discussed. And plasma is the liquid part of the blood that contains about 90% water and remaining organic substances like proteins, minerals, vitamins, ions, waste, respiratory gases, etc. We also have one more system in our body, that is the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is responsible for the flow of lymph, which is an extracellular fluid. We will talk about lymphatic system in detail later on. Let's talk about heart first of all. Heart is a muscular organ which pumps blood to all the parts of the body. As far as human heart is concerned, it is four-chambered. The upper two chambers are called atria and the lower two chambers are called ventricles. Since the ventricles pump blood to the different parts of the body, so their walls are thicker as compared to arteria. The wall of the left ventricle is thickest among all the chambers because it has to pump blood to all the parts. The right and left chambers of our heart are separated by a septum, that is a partition wall, which prevents mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. The atria and ventricles have walls between them to prevent the blood from flowing backward. Remember one important thing: the left side of the heart contains oxygenated blood while the right side contains deoxygenated blood. This you can simply learn by a word LORD, Lord. Left oxygenated and right deoxygenated. This word will help you to remember which part of the heart contains oxygenated and which other part contains deoxygenated blood. You have the diagram of heart on your screen. Now let's compare the heart of different animals: mammals, birds, amphibians, reptiles, and fishes. The heart in mammals is four-chambered, having two atria and two ventricles. This four-chambered heart prevents mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood and provides efficient supply of oxygen. This is necessary because mammals and birds are the animals of high energy needs, and they constantly have to spend energy to keep their body temperature, to maintain their body temperature. While the heart in amphibians and reptiles is three-chambered. Three-chambered heart has two atria and single ventricle. This type of heart allows some mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood because they do not use energy to maintain their body temperature. They are cold-blooded animals rather. Their body temperature is the same as the temperature of the surroundings. The heart in fishes have only two chambers and the blood is oxygenated in the gills. Now let's talk about the working of heart. Heart is a muscular organ whose main function is to pump the blood. When the left atrium relaxes, oxygenated blood from the lungs flows through the pulmonary vein. When it contracts, the left ventricle expands and the blood flows into it. Then the left ventricle contracts and the oxygenated blood is pumped out through the aorta to all the parts of the body. After circulating through all the parts of body, the deoxygenated blood enters the right atrium through the vena cava. When the right atrium contracts, the right ventricle expands and the blood flows into it. Then the right ventricle contracts and the blood is pumped to the lungs through the pulmonary artery. In the lungs, carbon dioxide is removed and oxygen is absorbed, and the oxygenated blood again enters the left atrium and the process repeats. In other words, I would tell you that the right side of the heart, that is right atrium, receives deoxygenated blood from all the parts of the body by superior and inferior vena cava. Then from the right atrium, this deoxygenated blood is passed to right ventricle, which pump it to the lungs for oxygenation. From the lung, the oxygenated blood is brought back to the left atrium via pulmonary arteries, and from left atrium, this oxygenated blood is supplied to left ventricle. Left ventricle pumps this oxygenated blood to all the body parts, where it again gets deoxygenated due to metabolic activities, and this deoxygenated blood is brought back to right atrium via vena cava. This is the circulation of blood. Since the blood flows through the heart twice in one cycle, this is called double circulation. Double circulation is important for animals of high energy needs like birds and mammals because they constantly need energy to maintain their body temperature. This is the flow diagram showing you the transportation of blood in humans that I have just now discussed. You can look at this diagram. Superior, inferior vena cava bring the blood to right atrium, from where it is transferred to right ventricle, then to pulmonary artery, then to lungs, and from lungs to left atrium, and from left atrium to left ventricle, then aorta supply it to rest of the body. This is the circulation chart of blood. Here on your screen you can see diagram showing internal structure of heart and the double circulation of blood in the heart of birds and mammals. Here on your screen you can see the animated video showing you the pumping of blood by heart. The blue blood indicates deoxygenated blood while the red indicates oxygenated blood.